They keep delaying, and we keep on supporting the long, well-known story of Ubisoft and its fans. Anyways, guys, here we are, Skull and Bones, the deck gameplay dev stream. Ah, yes, Skull and Bones. A game that just would not die due to Ubisoft's shady dealings with Singapore's government. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, basically the short version of it is Skull and Bones, the development, they made a deal with the Singapore government, and even though it's been going on for so long, it's basically a meme at this point. They can't let it die because of the deal with the Singapore government. Skull and Bones, as you would know, is a multiplayer live service version of Black Flag if it doesn't have any of the interesting bits, that is to say Assassin's Creed. Okay, I'm being a bit unfair. Being a pirate is also interesting, but then it's Ubisoft, and you realize that they have a express degree in taking very interesting ideas and turning them into absolute shitstorms like Immortal's Phoenix Rising. Oh, I'm going to get real hate comments for this, aren't I? Okay, to be fair, I don't dislike Immortal's Phoenix Rising. It's just that every game they make is just another Ubisoft game. It's very samey. And so far, at least until Valhalla, the only thing that seemed to have any creativity in them is Assassin's Creed, the franchise. And now Skull and Bones doesn't have that part, so I don't think it's going to be creative at all. But regardless, I am willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to try it out when it comes out, because it is an interesting idea. That's the point. And I've never seen a better naval combat system. Let's see what they have to offer. Even though I hate myself for saying this, look at this guy's face. This expression reveals my inner demons, my inner feelings about this. He does not want to be here. Look at him. He's been forced. His child has been kept hostage, and so he is over here on a green screen with a CGI rendered background of something which is hopefully gameplay, but which deep down he knows is pre-rendered footage to be for tricking players into thinking it's gameplay. I'm being unfair, but you can't blame me. It's not like it hasn't happened before. Hello, the deck.
Everyone, and welcome back to the deck. It's been a while, and we know that some of you have been eagerly waiting for a chance to play our game. We're working very hard to
have
make
we?
that happen
Yeah,
as
we
soon
have.
as possible. But in the meantime, I brought a special guest to introduce you all to an aspect of Skull and Bones.
I'm sorry. Why is this thing which is behind my head, now that I think about it, why is this hanging back and forth? It's really distracting. I guess it's not as distracting as his eyes. This man looks like he's made he's a robot or something. Anyways, he really does not want to be here.
We haven't talked much about yet, which is our narrative.
And when I say looks, I'm talking about his expressions, not about his facial features. Yeah, just in case if anyone... I'm going to get cancelled for this video.
How it works. In just a minute, we'll be taking you through about 40 minutes of exclusive gameplay, which we just recorded in our studio. But before that, let me introduce you all to our world context with this short trailer.
It introduced you to what?
But before that, let me introduce you all to our world context with this short trailer.
World context. Basically, if I translate it, I don't have that much to say. They forced me into this intro, and I hope that this trailer will become my savior and save me any further second-hand embarrassment. Let's see what this has to offer. I do like this Ubisoft transitioning to a gold.
The end of the 17th century, when ruthless corporations ruled the seas with an...
Isn't that interesting? Ubisoft, I see some self-reflection.
iron fist. They ignited a battle for global supremacy to dominate.
Ubisoft, I don't know why the irony is lost in you. I hope it's not. I hope, you know, I hope for your sake it's not lost in
The
you.
world's most valuable trade routes. A flood of exotic goods from the Indian Ocean.
This is not red wine. This may look like red wine. It is actually the blood of us, the Ubisoft fans, who, for after being burnt so many times, still continue to play the games for whatever reason. What can I do? They have interesting ideas. It's just that they botch the execution.
Storm the West, creating new addictions and a
Uh-huh.
violent race for control.
Ah, see? I predicted it. It is someone's blood. Isn't that nice?
And where there's blood, there are predators.
Mm-hmm.
Labelled as enemies of all mankind,
Uh-huh.
this new breed of pirates will show no mercy.
Ubisoft, are you inviting me to pirate your games? Because I hope you realize this is a game about pirates. Which, yeah, I get that the modern day romanticization and all. But they are pirates. They steal things. Look, I know I'm being unfair, okay? It's just that I don't know what's happen to this game. I don't know if it will come out in any proper way or whatever.
Sailing through dangerous waters, they created secret trading networks and built their pirate empires. But they were always on the edge of losing it all
I see.
and sinking to the depths as skull and bones.
I gotta say that's a interesting way to put the trailer. I make fun of it because I hate Ubisoft, but like as a trailer, it's really amazing.
All right, welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed this little introduction to our world context.
Let this man go. Stop holding him hostage. God damn.
I'm here today with Joel. Hi, Joel.
Hi, Alexi.
So Joel is our narrative director. He works on everything narrative for Skull and Bones. And today we're going to be showing you a bit of that. So can you tell us a little bit more about what we're going to show today, Joel?
Yeah, we're going to play an investigation, Alexi. And so investigations in Skull and Bones are really a way to tell a story through a series of steps. The player kind of follows a trail of something that they think is going to be interesting and likely going to lead to some kind of treasure or some kind of score.
Keywords there being think and likely. Basically, they think it's going to be interesting and they think it's likely treasure or something. But there are going to be times when it's just going to be a pointless collectible, as is the standard in all Ubisoft games.
But it also tells a story about our factions and our world, and we do that by finding, for example, messages in bottles, scraps of lost journals, sometimes talking to different characters in the world, and through that we were able to tell a story.
All right, cool. So I'm going to pick up the first clue of this investigation. I'm going to read it out and then we'll find out a bit more. We'll talk about it a little bit together.
Sure.
All hail Queen of the Sea! For the mighty victory over our treasonous brother and King Wenye. The throne of great Ubuta is now fortified against foreign invaders. And our alliance with the Sultanate of Soha help ensure the prosperity of the Confederation of Ungwana.
I like the narration. Look, kudos where kudos is due. I like the narration. I love it.
For information on the capture of renegade Mwenye, who escaped the sword of justice.
I like the fact that it's not just text on screen and read it. It's narration. Because obviously narration can be skipped a lot of times.
The thieves and traitors were seen in several villages within the realm, including Bandar. By royal decree, all aiders and abettors shall be killed. Bless her majesty!
That's ominous. What happened? Where is the sound? Wait. Okay, my laptop hanged. I can move my arrow, but my laptop hanged. Goddamn. Oh, come on, don't do this. Ubisoft. Oh, God. Goddamn. This is not off to a good start, is it? Okay, let's just salvage the recording. What?
All right.
What you are looking at here, people, is something called my video crashed. So I'm recording the rest of it. Honestly, I wasn't even going to follow up on it. I was just gonna let it die. I was just gonna delete the recorded video files and whatever. But to be fair, it's because I have grown to hate Ubisoft. Like, I don't know if you've been hearing. Recently, Ubisoft employees went on a strike after the Galaxy Brain response by Yves Guillemot, which was the balls in your court now, employees, that I like to exploit a lot. God damn it. Listen, I am being unfair to this game. It's because I don't like the company. I have nothing against the two people
Find out a bit
who
more.
are running this gameplay showcase. I think they're amazing people. I just don't think they really want to be here. Employees are not generally to blame. It's the higher ups. I hate that word. They are the shit in the company.
We'll talk about it. The first clue of this investigation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna read it out, and then we'll find out a bit more. We'll talk about it a little bit together.
Sure.
All hail Queen Alice
Mm-hmm.
and our alliance with the Sultanate of Soha and now formation justice of Ubud, including better shall be
Yeah, so I don't know exactly which place I left because basically what happened is my screen crashed, so I wasn't able to see anything, but the video kept going on for a bit and I wasn't able to stop the recording or anything. So yeah, shit happened.
All right. So that's the first clue, and basically what's happening there is a little bit of a fight between brother and sister. Both of them believe that they're the rightful heir to the throne. But the brother basically ran away with the crown, right? So
Okay.
for us as pirates, we're not really interested in taking sides. We're not really interested in who's right or who's wrong. What we are interested in, however, is the mention of that crown and potential treasure waiting for us.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
Of course.
Just like Ubisoft, always interested in the treasure. They're not interested in creativity or what's right or what's wrong. They're just interested in the treasure. I don't think anything indicates to me being right, of course. I'm just being crazy.
So what we're gonna do first? The first clue is basically telling us that we need to find out where the
Hold on. What the fuck happened to the resolution?
So what we're gonna do first?
Oh my god. What is that face? Hold on.
Treasure waiting for us.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
So what we're gonna
Look at this. At this angle? What is this render? Oh my god. Oh, like, look at this. The rest of the body is rendering in perfectly, but the face and the head looks like it's straight out of the PS2 era. Or worse. I think I'm insulting the PS2 too much. Look at this. This looks like an obloid. What the fuck is this? God damn. Like, I understand that it's a gameplay showcase, but after these many delays, when it was supposed to come out last year, I don't know what they were high on.
gonna do first? The first clue is basically telling us that we need to find out where the brother went. He's been sighted in Bandari settlement, so we're gonna be sailing towards that destination.
Okay.
But before we do that, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the region we're in and how does it fit with our world context.
Well, so in the world,
What is this word you keep using? World context. The fuck does that mean? Alexis? Yes, I'm looking at you. Just say context. Don't try to sound super, you know what, leave it.
context, this is the golden age of piracy, and so
Oh, I didn't know.
This game is a historical fiction.
I didn't
so
know.
We're really basing a lot of our choices in the game on being inspired by the region of the Indian Ocean and the factions that can be found there at that time. And
Okay.
during this time period, there is a desire from the West for all the luxurious goods that were discovered here by the West, discovered from their point of view, and there was a kind of a battle for who would have supremacy over those goods.
Okay.
And of course, that also leads to battles with the local factions, and it's really the mega corporations from the West stealing from the local factions.
Isn't that ironic? Oh my god. Considering the history of this game, the mega corporation from the West stealing from the local factions in near the Indian Ocean. Goddamn. They did the dramatic zoom at the right time as well. They knew this was comedy gold they were giving us.
To feed those new addictions in the West.
Cool.
And so there we see the dawn of the modern economy.
Ubisoft, I'm seeing a surprising amount of self-reflection from you. Maybe it's just your employees. I think we are seeing a bit of an improvement. You know, I don't know why my voice became that way, why I accented it, but I think we're seeing a bit of an improvement. I think we can work from here.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. Nice little introduction there. So because we know where we're going, it's a bit of a distance to sail. So I've now
Now what's up with the hair? Correct me if I'm wrong. This hairstyle. How the fuck is a pirate going to have this hairstyle? Like, isn't this like you have to sit in a parlor for a long time for them to braid your hair and everything? Like, okay, that's not fair, because that's actually not fair, because you can customize your character clearly.
travel to another outpost, and maybe you can tell us a bit more about the role of outposts in the game.
Yeah,
Of course.
So outposts are really places to explore, find lore. From a narrative point of view, there's always lore to be found in an outpost, but
Of
more
course.
than that, there are also places to trade, to pick up contracts, to cash in contracts, to sometimes pay off factions.
Whoa, what is this? I was gonna say so. Why is there a raccoon over here? Okay then. God damn. Cool.
If you have an aggro with a specific faction,
It's also a place you can kind of meet other players and socialize with other players as well, right?
of course.
Damn, fully multiplayer.
Thank
cool.
you,
So
thank you for reminding me the one reason I hate this game. But okay, it's a bane of my fucking existence. But what can I do about it?
now we know that our next destination is going to be that binary settlement. I'm going to talk about it a bit later as we get closer to it. But our objective is going to be to plunder that settlement to find the next clue, right?
Yes.
But for now, as we're sailing, maybe there's more you can tell us about the exact region we're in and the regions of Skull and Bones in general.
Yeah, so we're in the coast of Africa region here, and as you can see from the landscape, it's a bit of a arid landscape compared to some of the others in the game.
Look, the sailing isn't that bad.
And
Okay.
here, there's two major factions. There's the Confederation of Iguana, who are really more the local faction, who've historically
Of
been
course.
here. And they're a nomadic faction and quite aggressive faction in terms of the game. But
Okay.
the thing about the people from the Confederation of Iguana is that they're nomadic partially by circumstances, and part of those circumstances is the fact that the Company Royale has moved into the location, and the Company Royale is really a mega corporation from France, and they're the
Every
colonial
time they
power who's
mention
Nomadic-
big corporations, it just sounds off.
and they're
Hold on.
Federation of Iguana, who are really more the local faction who've historically been here,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a nomadic faction and quite aggressive faction in terms of the game. But the thing about the circumstances, and
Cool. Nomadic and aggressive goes to show Ubisoft's views on local
part of those
cultures.
circumstances is the fact that the Company Royale has
Again, I'm joking. Okay, I'm not being so serious. I hate Ubisoft, but I don't think they're pieces of shit.
moved into the location, and the Company Royale is really a mega corporation from France, and they're the colonial power who has disrupted the lives of the Confederation of Iguana. And there's a whole backstory and quite a bit of lore that can build up that sort of relationship.
Yeah, so one of the cool things about all this as well is that as we're sailing through and we see other ships passing us, the more you play the game, the more you find out that these ships actually have a lot of elements on them that are giving you information, right? First of all, you can see how that
A lot of what on them that are
sailing
giving
through
you
and we see other
information?
ships passing us.
Mm-hmm.
The more you play the game, the more you find out that these ships actually have a lot of elements on them that are
Lot of elements on them. That sounds like a lot of
giving you
limits on
information,
them.
right? First of all, you can see the equipments they have. So the ships we just passed, for example, they were equipped with a lot of cargo. But also the sails and the emblems they have will tell you which faction do they belong to and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
of course. So there's visual identifiers. There's all kinds of things that really help bring authenticity to the different factions in the game.
So, oh, I thought this was a statue. There is an actual raccoon that you have. Cool. Pets. I guess every game has to have a pets mechanic
Whether
now.
it's visual, linguistic, you name it.
So a lot of work went into like making sure that when you're sailing through the coast of Africa, you feel that you're actually on the coast of Africa.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's also a lot of other
Look,
elements like the wildlife.
This looks great and all.
The
But
vegetation,
I don't
the
know. With that visual
the
glitch I
things
saw.
that-
Oh my god, look at this.
The vegetation.
Talk about visual glitches. Wait, hold on. I need to play it on a.
It's like the wildlife, the vegetation, the.
Okay. 23, right? Let's go to 22. Yeah. Now let's play it on 0.25x speed. I need to. This was a frame by thing. I need to play it frame by frame. Hold on.
All
Yeah, I think the textures shifted, didn't they? Hold on, let me see it again. Yeah. Oh my god, the textures shifted. This is happening in the gameplay showcase. God damn. If this is the refined part of the game, what's going to happen when the game actually releases?
these things that make you really feel like you are actually sailing in the coast of Africa, which is very nice.
Yeah, and if you want, you can. There is wildlife in the waters that you can be hunted by players, but
That was a weird sentence. There is wildlife in the water that you can be hunted by the players. Okay, then.
not with the ships that we're sailing right now. Of course, Skull and Bones has all different kinds of ships, and you're encouraged to use those different ships in different ways. Some are better for combat, some are better for fast navigation, some for carrying large loads.
So I guess you have a dock where you keep all your
narrow
ships.
waterways and are useful for essentially hunting water-based animals, and so that is an opportunity that we could explore in the coast of Africa.
Why didn't you start a plunder? I want to see the plunder.
But because I think we're trying to complete our investigation, we'll have to do that next time.
So I know that there's actually a lot of rivers to explore. Luckily for us, the rivers we're in now are large enough for us to sail with those rather large ships.
Yep.
But like you said, like some rivers you're gonna have to basically switch to a smaller ship, which might not be as well equipped. But that'll be the only way to get some of the resources.
What the fuck happened?
which might
Hold on.
Not be as well equipped.
Yeah, one more
But
texture
that'll be the
pop in.
You're gonna have to basically switch to a smaller ship, which might not be as well equipped. But that'll be the
That was a clear jump cut. What is this gameplay showcase?
only way to get some of the resources that the region has to offer, right?
Yep. And so it pays to have.
Hold
The only
on.
way to get some of the resources that the region not.
Let me see if both of
but
them
like you
jump
said,
cut.
like some rivers you're gonna have to basically switch to a smaller ship, which might not be as well equipped. But that'll be the only way to get some.
So this is not even a live playthrough. They're making it look like a live playthrough, but this is not. They deliberately set it up to make it look like a live playthrough. It's not a live playthrough. Someone pre-recorded this. Look at this. There's a jump
smaller
cut
ship
in
which
the
might not be as
footage.
well equipped.
Yeah, there's a jump cut in the footage, but this footage keeps going on. Honestly, why am I even surprised? This is Ubisoft we're talking about.
But that'll be the only way to get some of the resources that the region has to offer, right?
Yep.
If anyone wondering if I hate it, why am I even looking at it? I don't hate the game. This is the problem with Ubisoft. They have all these amazing ideas. Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed, this Skull and Bones IP, Immortals Phoenix Rising. So many awesome, amazing ideas which just go down the drain. Like, I mean, there are a lot of solutions which I can think to the Ubisoft, to the Assassin's Creed problem, which we can get into some other day, but which is like essentially, how there is like a split in the fandom. Those who like the earlier games, those who like the newer games, and few of them like the both. Not few of them, many of them like both. But I wouldn't trust Ubisoft to implement it, honestly. Seeing shit like this, it just, oh god. Who remembers For Honor? Like, remember how, like, I loved the system in For Honor. The combat system. You know how you had upper guard, left guard, right guard, and oh my god, the issues with that game. God damn. And now with this game, I really thought that they could. Let me see if what happens before and after the jump cut.
Some of the smaller ship which might not be as well equipped, but that'll be the only way to get some of the resources that the region has to offer.
Wait, are we in the same location?
But that'll be the only way to get basically to switch to a smaller ship which might not be as well equipped. But that'll be the only way to get some of the resources.
I know. Hold on.
Offer, right?
Leave it.
And so it pays to have.
Looks like we are in the same location.
Varied fleet of ships.
Ish.
Fair to say.
Yes. All right. So we're gonna get closer to that.
Like, look at this. They're not even hiding it. It's a different person on the perch.
Offer, right?
Yep. And so it pays to have a varied.
It's a different person on the crow's nest. No, they're not even hiding
fleet
it.
of ships,
Okay
it's
then.
Fair to say.
Yes. All right, so we're gonna get closer to that settlement in just a little bit. There's a couple of information that we need to keep in mind when we get closer. First of all,
What?
So far nobody's really.
Hold on.
Settlement in just a little.
Sec.
Yes. All right, so we're gonna get closer to that settlement in just. Right.
Yep. And so it pays to have a varied fleet of ships. It's fair to say.
Yes. All right, so we're gonna get closer to that settlement in just a little bit. There's a couple of information that we need to keep in mind when we get closer. First of all, so far nobody's really bothering about.
Okay. So that wasn't a. Okay, I retract my statement. For a moment there, it looked like they were two separate playthroughs. But now it appears like they are switching between the co-op players. Man, I'm going to get so many hate comments for this, but you know what? It's going out regardless.
Us because we're just not being very aggressive, right? But the moment we attack the settlement, that's going to change, obviously.
Yeah.
That settlement belongs to the local faction. But we're not here to actually plunder any resources. We're here to find the clue. So what we're going to do before we start the plundering is we are going to plan our escape route to make sure that we don't get into too much trouble.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm almost there now. But essentially, you want to make sure you prepare. The key thing about Skull and Bones when you want to engage. Almost there now. But essentially, yeah, that's the key thing about Skull and Bones when you want to engage the combat. Depending on your objective, you want to make sure you're prepared for it. So if you want to plunder all the way, then you need to make sure you're ready for a long fight. On the other hand, if you're just looking for one specific item, then you want to plan an escape and you want to make sure that you can run away without getting too much heat.
Perfection.
Yeah, because the way the plunder feature works is that the longer the fight goes on, the harder it gets. The more there's going to be reinforcements, and the more aggressive these reinforcements are going to get.
I
So
see.
if I've learned anything playing the game,
That's an
things will
interesting
go
game.
wrong. So
That's
let's
an
see
interesting
what-
way to put it.
Hopefully,
Okay.
we'll make it alive. Alright, so I'm gonna drop anchor now. Open up
Alright.
my map. And I'm gonna set my escape route for that shipwreck on the far east. And whenever we're ready, let's get started.
I'm ready.
Alright, let's go.
Let's do this.
So presumably there's a third guy running the stream, right? That's why they switched between the players. So I guess both of them are recording their screens. And like they switched between the screens.
So as you can see here, a bunch of our crew are jumping overboard to essentially enter the settlement and begin the plundering action. And so
Okay.
the fantasy here is as we're out here fighting and holding our ground, they're in the settlement, scampering around, stealing whatever they can get their hands on.
For a moment there, I thought we would get on foot combat. Why would I think that? Of course. Look, it's a ship game, I get it. But part of the fun of Black Flag, which this game is very heavily based on, is that it wasn't just ship combat. It was also on foot combat. And knowing that in this one, the plundering of ships is essentially just a cutscene, I was hoping that the plundering of islands would actually be, on foot. Seeing that we do have on foot mechanics, but I guess I can't hope for too much.
And looking for the thing that in this case we're looking for, which is the next clue in our investigation. And as you can see, those different stops across the top of the screen of what will happen during the plundering action if we survive is they will start sending out what they find while our crew is in there on small ships for us to pick up. So if they do their job right, we will get our clue in the first package, and then we can make our escape. Obviously, the longer the battle goes on, the more at risk we're at here in this kind of confined space.
Yeah, but that's also how you get the highest reward.
I guess there is, this is an interesting game. Interesting way to play to make the game,
Exactly.
Because
so if you can stick it out all the way to the
maybe it wasn't what I was hoping for, but this could certainly be interesting. Like it's more ship focused. Okay, we shall see. Still not over the ship plundering though.
Of course,
we can
you're
see.
gonna plunder a heck of a lot, but as you can see here, we are facing stiff competition.
Yeah. So my strategy usually,
Were you going to say stiff frame rates?
when we plunder settlement, is the beginning.
I'm just joking around. Okay.
It's pretty chill, I want to say, all things considered.
Yep.
So what I try to do is I try to damage the tower first before all the big reinforcements come in. But in that case, we're getting a lot of heat from those flamethrowers.
Yes,
so
it's not super chill at the moment, it turns out. And the tower is also, I see that you're taking some heavy hits from the tower.
Yeah. And that's the thing, depending on the enemy you're facing, obviously you can see that there's different weak spots you can hit for extra damage, but they're also going to have different kind of weapons who might inflict different kind of damage on your ship, so you need to be kind of prepared for that as well.
Yes. Having a
What different kind of weapons? Just tell me what the types of weapons are, mate.
rounded strategy never hurts, because as we mentioned, things will go wrong.
Yes.
And it is quite chaotic at the moment. But
I think we're almost there. Yeah,
yes.
I just got the clue, so now we can run away.
Let's do it.
Before all the big trouble comes.
Perfect.
So if you just follow me, I know where we're going.
Okay. Perfect.
So if you just follow me, I know where we're going.
Okay.
There was a proper jump cut, I think.
Perfect.
So if you just follow me, I know where we're going.
Yeah, it was an overall jump cut.
Alright, so like you can see on the screen, we're leaving the plunder area now, so that means any potential loot, extra loot that we could have gotten will be forfeited at this point.
Oh boy.
But we don't care, because we have what we need.
Yeah, our escape is not yet guaranteed, though.
Yes.
That's fair to say.
And there's, like you were saying before, there's the Company Royale fighting here with local factions, so you can see some of that conflict happening right here.
Yeah, and that's part of the living world of Skull and Bones.
Cool.
In this case, I think it's going to work to our advantage here, because the Confederation of Iguana is going to be sort of torn about who to aggro more, us or the Company Royale.
Alright, so far so good. I'm going to use a repair kit just to
Okay.
fix my ship a little bit.
Yep.
I've seen better days. How's it looking for you?
What are you going to
able
do?
make it out alive?
Yeah, I'm gonna be okay. I'm kind of running close to this Company Royale ship, so I'm gonna be curious
Okay.
to see. They don't seem to have any issue with us, but hopefully, oh yeah, yep. So they're under attack from the Confederation of Iguana, which is great news
Cool.
because that
Oh,
means I
then
get
we
to
can get out. Yeah, I
Quite
see.
ironic that we're being saved by the same people that we just
So factions.
attacked.
Good.
Yes.
But I think it's looking good, man. At least on my side, it's looking like it's gonna get quiet soon.
Nice. Passing a shipwreck here.
Yeah, there's a lot of flamethrower action behind you.
Where?
So I'm gonna drop anchor on here, and I'm gonna start reading the.
Oh,
next clue.
hello, Garfield the cat. Hold on.
Alright, so I'm gonna drop anchor on here, and I'm
No, that's not a cat. That's a wolf or a fox. I don't know.
gonna
It's a cat. Okay.
start reading the next clue.
Is this the whole gameplay showcase? Okay then.
Iguana is in upheaval. King Wenye has landed in Bandari Harbor. Though still wearing his crown, he is but a shell of the man he once was.
Okay, I don't need to hear the
Spies are
whole thing.
everywhere.
It's interesting. It's just that I'm a little sleepy.
Huta, Queen with him of Jiwe Setli is tasked to rule with
So yeah, the fight between sister and brother is not looking good, to be honest. It looks like they're still they can't find an agreement basically.
Yeah.
So King Winnie ran away with the crown.
All
The
right.
Queen, the sister queen is basically destined to rule without a crown. But for our interest, we've been told to look for the next clue at a shipwreck next to Jiwe. So that's where we can
Perfection.
sail
What
now.
loot tone cell? Where's the tone cell over
The other thing
here?
I noticed when I was reading the clue is that there's actually some graphics that you can display that shows the clue written in a language that I don't really understand or can't read. So maybe you can tell us more about this.
Yeah, I mean we are.
Wow, a language that I can't read or understand. That sounds like. Yeah, I don't have any jokes for
Obviously
this.
inspired by the people of the region, and so we've worked really
Yeah, well, at least they're Isaac doing something right.
closely with historians as well as language and culture experts to make sure that we're being accurate and being taking that inspiration as far as we can in terms of showing the authenticity that comes from the different factions in this region, or I should say from portraying the different factions in this region.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, another thing that I like a lot about talking about regional factions and regional cultures is the shanties. I'm gonna play one right now, so maybe you can talk to us a bit more about shanties in the game.
Yeah, so the way I see it is we really have 3 different types of shanties in the game. Of course, we
Types
have
of
your
shanties.
classic pirate shanties that I think people come to expect,
Those are the only shanties that I know. What other shanties are there?
myself included. But we also have some language-specific shanties, like we
I
were talking
see.
about, some that are not translated and are kept in the language of the local factions, which I think is very cool and really
Cool.
exciting.
Okay,
And
that's
in addition to that,
interesting.
we also have certain shanties that are really specific to the world lore of our game. So shanties about the characters in our game, about some of the legendary kingpins, about some of the myths
Okay.
and the
So, historical shanties, untranslated shanties, shit we made up. Cool.
overall fantasy of our game.
Nice, very nice.
Also, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this ship. It looks a little weird from this angle. God knows.
So yeah, as we setting a bit, we can enjoy the different sceneries and changing the lighting as we get closer to nighttime. And one thing I like as well when I'm sailing and there's not too much combat or action going on is taking advantage of the different cameras that we have in our game. So we
Yeah,
can really
absolutely. I mean, if you take the time to make your ship look awesome, you want to celebrate it
Exactly.
when you have a moment, you know.
I mean, that's the key thing about a pirate, right? You take
Okay.
pride into making your ship impressive and good looking.
Exactly. Just like your hand is going to be encrusted with rings, you also got to have your ship encrusted with cool stuff.
Yes.
Fair.
And then the other thing that I find are both quite fun, but also very distracting is obviously the world is really big, right? And you set sail thinking, okay, I'm gonna go look for something specific, And then as you set sail, you look around and you see one thing interesting. And if you, like me, you'll get tempted to find out what it is.
Oh my god. Look at that. One and one more popping.
Thinking, okay, I'm gonna go look for something specific. And then as you set sail, you look around and you see one thing interesting. And if you, like me, you'll get tempted to find out what.
Yeah, look at that. My head is
So you
hiding
look
it,
around and
so
you see one thing interesting. And
hold on, let me move my head around so you guys can see it. Alright, now that we have moved about, I think this is a better view for me anyway, seeing that this is blocking less of the footage. But yeah, look at this, look over here.
if you, like me, you'll get tempted to find out what
Yeah.
it is. And then
God damn.
you lose you lose focus basically, and you get distracted by other things, and then you forget why you were at sea in the first place.
But that's all right. We're happy to have players get lost in our world. That's part of the goal.
Okay.
And I think that was part of what it was like to be a pirate, was to
I guess so, yeah.
see opportunities and seize them in the moment.
Well,
So,
I guess that's
But in
true.
our case, we can't get distracted because our
No.
time is limited.
We're on a mission.
Yes.
Aha.
And I'm
Ah,
now arriving to that shipwreck we were looking for.
guess that goes to
Get a
show
bit
how much he
closer,
doesn't want to be here.
Drop anchor, and then I'll read the next clue.
Great.
Why is there no on foot? It's just you press a button and you plunder the shipwreck. Which I guess the option would be nice for some people. Some people just want to be on the ship. I get it. But imagine if we could actually go there and, search the ship for loot. I mean, it's not like you already made the game. God damn it.
Alright.
Dear sister, your betrayal is complete.
So he died. Okay.
I lie bleeding from mortal wounds and contemplating the after. I do floating and on and down Freeman in a sea go in on the ground.
Okay then.
True self-hope. I will hope.
Oh, it looks like the story is taking quite a dramatic turn towards the end. There's a couple of things I've learned from that clue, actually. The first one is, after years of working in that game, I finally found out how to pronounce the how. I didn't know it was pronounced that way. But
Okay,
the
then.
other thing is, so like the story said, basically, the King Winnie had a very unfortunate encounter. He met a certain Captain Freeman, who then convinced his entire crew to basically abandon him and live free in
Who is Captain
a place
Freeman?
called Anitra.
Yeah.
So maybe you can tell us more about this Freeman and
Yeah.
Anitra.
So Captain Freeman
Wasn't he a historical figure? Like he was the one who kind of hated pirates? Correct me if I'm wrong.
is really a mythical character. I like to say he's part of the foundational myth of our world. And so Captain Freeman has a story that you're going to put together in the game by doing all these different investigations.
Oh, so he's just a made up thing. I don't know why I thought like Captain Freeman sounds like someone from a real history. Maybe I'm thinking too much.
You'll get little snippets about Captain Freeman from every investigation to put together a full picture of who he was. And one thing that is known widely is that he was part of what was called at the time, or what we call the heist of the century, meaning that he took part in the biggest score any pirate had ever done in our world by doing a massive score against the Dutch Merchant Company.
Okay
And
then.
so he was one of the also founding members of this sort of pirate den, borderline pirate paradise called Lenitra. And in Lenitra, it was very much an egalitarian, almost democratic society where pirates supported each other, worked together, really began to work against the mega corporations in a quite coordinated way. And it included even some of the other characters that we'll meet in our game, like one of our major characters, John Skurlock, for example, was an inhabitant of Lenitra. But tragically, Lenitra was destroyed and being attacked by the Company Royale and the DMC the Dutch Merchant Company, given the events of
I
the heists
literally
of the
do not
century and
care.
some of the other things that Captain Freeman and his
Ubisoft, why are you spoiling your own game story? Honestly, like, isn't this something that should be left for the game? Oh god. I wonder how many people fell asleep by the point they reached this part of the gameplay showcase. Look at it again. The weird face thing is happening. I don't know. Maybe it's YouTube's compression, but it doesn't seem like it.
ilk got up to. And so really that whole idea of having this like pirate utopia has been destroyed in the mythology of our game, and what we're left with now is a world that is much more cutthroat, much more dog eat dog. It is a much harsher and grittier pirate
Yeah, NASA failed, right?
world
I guess
than that
that's
mythical
what
pirate
happens.
past that some of the characters in our world can remember.
There's no more safe haven for us to live our life free.
And Freeman himself is sort of a mystery lost to time that hopefully we can learn more about by doing those investigations.
All right, so I know there's a lot more to that story, and we'll probably leave that for players to find out when.
You should have left all of this for the players to find out as well. Alexis, why the fuck did you tell all of this? Oh my god, I don't want to hear this. You okay, who expects I'm going to go into a gameplay showcase and get spoilers for the story? Like, that's a thing that trailers did. Now gameplay showcases as well. Oh my god. Okay, I don't know. Comments, because I think a lot of people stopped at this point. We'll come back. Hitting the sunk cost fallacy, meaning hard. My heart goes out to the people who work out or work, or who have the people having to work on this. It must be so frustrating to spend all your time on something which is so empty of potential. When you're pitching it to the people, the narrative gameplay, but it is just sail from point A to point B to press X to read some text and then go to point C. Then it's really showing the limitations of the game. Makes me wonder if every meeting about this game is someone in the management saying, look, we've spent 10 years on this. If we admit we have sunk all this money into this albatross, then someone in management might be held responsible. You Eve Gemo, maybe? I don't know. So keep churning out those visual accessories and slap some story on it. Your only purpose is to keep this going long enough until I find another studio to jump ship to. Shui, mate, you get a big fat like. I don't think I could have put it any way better. Hey, don't say that. People are working hard. It's just that the higher ups, they are running the company to the ground, mate. And the thing is, I don't think Eve is going anywhere. Because if you didn't know, Eve's Gemo isn't a single man problem. The company's board is essentially comprised of his brothers. Ubisoft as a company is owned by the Gemo family. It's a family business. Bet you didn't want to know that, bet you didn't know that. It's why Gemo is not gonna get fired. Eve's Gemo is not gonna get fired ever, or at least until I don't know, the management changes and people get like different people invest in Ubisoft stocks and try to do a takeover of sorts, because it is a public company, even though it's run mostly like a family business. But that's not gonna happen because the Gemo family seems to be quite aggressive about keeping control of the company. Honestly, Yeah, I feel bad for these two people just forced to be here against their will. It's like I said, he doesn't. They don't want to be here. Look at the dead expressions on their face. God damn. Yup. It is like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but all the fun parts taken out. Built on the completely faulty premise that the only reason people like Black Flag was the ship combat and just the ship combat. When people think of pirates, they didn't picture broadside, they picture exactly. Oh my god. Ah. Do these people not know what the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is famous for? There's this little guy called Jack Sparrow. You must have heard of him. God damn. You know what he has? Other than a ship, a sword. You know what else he has? A compass. You know what else? The first movie in the franchise begins with a sinking boat and Jack Sparrow walking on land. How scary. Exactly, the seamless part. Get the seamlessly part into your heads. Ubisoft. Look, this game is not going to sink because Singapore. God damn. Well, there is already a huge ship mobile game if that's what you're into, mate. Well, this comment is so accurate. It's exactly what I said, isn't it? Ubisoft has so many great ideas. It's like with Ubisoft, if they don't listen to you, like if they do listen to what you are asking for, that's worse. Because chances are they'll take the complete wrong idea, run with it, and then be confused when results don't show. Like Assassin's Creed Unity. You know what? They thought, you know why the big RPG games happen nowadays? By the way, I love Origins. I don't love Valhalla. I love the story. But I love Origins and I'll defend it to that. Anybody who puts it in the same basket as uh, Odyssey and Valhalla for any other reason other than they're all RPGs needs to die a painful death. Because, see, with Odyssey, like, okay, let's get into it. A lot of people will tell me, yeah, Odyssey is not a great game. It's a great, it's not a great Assassin's Creed game, but it's a great game or whatever. Fine, I understand from your perspective. You want to pick it up, you want to play it. Cool. Let me give you a hand. Aren't there forced sections in Assassin's Creed Odyssey which have modern day elements in them? Are there or aren't there? And I understand a lot of the people who are in the who got into Assassin's Creed from Origins onwards, from Odyssey onwards, they don't want the modern day sections, and I completely get it because, to be fair, you're not selling it on them. But now let me help you find common ground. Back in the day, go play the original Assassin's Creed. It's a pretty generic stealth game. I mean, I say generic, maybe it's not as generic as I say, but it's pretty repetitive. It's pretty, all of those things. The game the gameplay, yeah, it's interesting, but that's not what got most initial Assassin's Creed fans interested. The reason Assassin's Creed fans got interested was the modern day, you know. And I understand that, um, I understand that that is not something you would want if you're an Odyssey fan, but the intrigue, like just look at it from an objective point of view, the intrigue, the mysteriousness, the glitches, the symbols everywhere, you know, all of those things, they form such a mystery which kept you coming back, and it was just completely tossed out of the window. Kind of like, you know, uh how you guys came for the internal gameplay and you get pulled out of it every time the modern day comes with. It's like Ubisoft doesn't do one or the other. Like, okay, if they were going to release something like Immortals Phoenix Rising, why the fuck was Odyssey ever a thing? Like, why wasn't Odyssey just Immortals Phoenix Rising? Why not take all of those resources and put it in there? People would put Origins into the same category. That why wasn't Origins a different game altogether? It's no. Origins is not a different game because while yes, I do find it a little insulting that Origins shifted the origins of the Assassin's Creed from way back in right after the right after the Toba catastrophe. I think that's when the origin, like they were supposed to go way back. Like there was not supposed to be one fixed origin to all the way to 49 BC, which in case you didn't know, the Toba catastrophe I think happened on 75,000 BCE. Am I speaking it wrong? Maybe. This this franchise, man. It's like, yeah, but why? Like, why didn't you like make a different game? Because you were afraid of the IP. You know what? I'll give you a solution, Ubisoft. I know you're not going to implement it, but I'm going to give it anyway. Use Assassin's Creed, introduce the elements, and do what you did with Skull and Bones, essentially, where, well, not exactly, but use Assassin's Creed, introduce the elements, and then shoot it into a new game. Have two games running side by side, or well, actually, that is what they're doing, isn't it? And it's not working out. Or how about this? Keep the game and keep the modern day sections relegated to glitches, like like they are in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, essentially. No forced modern day sections. Like maybe have it so the world changes every time you do massive story related things. So you know there is this idea of stable memories. Like you can't immediately jump into any memories because memories are traumatic. You need to process, you need to go from a point where the subject was stable and then process its way all the way to the end, and that's the original rule. And like that in itself leads to a good story, because essentially what you are saying is you have to start from a point, you have to go through a traumatic memory, and then you have to uh, resolve it. You know what that's called? That's called a three-act structure of a story. And every time you do this, the world goes through changes, and after the world goes through changes, every time the world goes through changes, different glitches are introduced. And maybe from a modern day perspective, you just want the glitches. You just want to see the glitches, but you can't see the glitches until you get to that point in the memory, and you can't get to that point in the memory until you play the main game. right? So that way, someone who is in it just for the gameplay can just play the game. Someone who is in it for the modern day as well can interact with the modern day. Wow, I figured it out. Oh my god. I know they're going to botch it, but goddamn, this it just became a rambly rant at the end. God damn it. But let's see.
when they finally get to play our game in open beta or launch.
Absolutely.
But one thing I need you to tell me, and I don't know if you can.
What
answer
is this
question,
burning thing?
Was Freeman a good guy or a bad guy?
I think, as far as pirates go, he was a good guy. He did believe in the sort of utopian vision of Lenitra, and he did want to do right by
Holy shit, what the fuck happened?
Lenitra, and he did want to do
Talk about seamless.
right by the little guy, so to speak, and his goal was really to take issue with the mega corporations.
Fair enough. But I guess in our game, it
Just like
it's
Ubisoft.
all a matter of perspective, right? You can, depending on how you feel and which side you want to be on, there's no real good guy. or bad
No, I
guy.
mean, even the best good guy is still going to have gray
Yes.
area.
It's
to
a-
take
It's a
issue with.
pirate
I
game.
mean,
I don't
pirates
think-
are pirates, right?
yeah, and
Exactly.
It's a difficult world, right? So
Yes.
being 100% good in that world will probably not get you very far.
Of course.
So while we're talking, we just arrived at the.
What
the
is this
final
running
mission,
animation?
The third outpost called the Pilotom.
Who runs like this?
I'm gonna show you a little bit how that
Oh my god.
place looks because it looks quite amazing. But I also want to. I would like to ask you a bit more about NPCs in the game in general and like different vendors and.
Yeah, so we have vendors or hawkers, you might call them, who are the people who are really going to sell you all the different things in the world that you are able to buy and consume, and there is many. I mean, when it comes to ingredients for upgrading your ship, things to feed your crew, things for upgrading your weapons, upgrading your
goddamn.
guns, all those kinds of things you're going to get through hawkers.
I'm not a big fan of the animations. I don't know.
As well as the ability to take on new contracts, new opportunities, maybe even pay off factions. Like, for example, if we had an ongoing feud with the Confederation of Unguana based on our plunder earlier, we could potentially pay off somebody at a outpost like this who's related to that faction.
Okay.
But in addition to those characters, we also have pirate kingpins in our world, and so I mentioned John Skurlock a minute ago.
What the hell just happened?
We also have pirate kingpins in our world, and so I mentioned John Skurlock a minute ago.
Oh my god. The lantern just snapped. Like it was like this, and then not even this. Like it's just a tick, just the hand cut off, and then it's here. I'm questioning my life choices.
Ago, he's one of the first pirate kingpins that players are going to meet, and he really stands as an example of the kind of kingpin the player is going to want to become.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that you said he's one of the first because I know there's more. I know we can't talk about it yet, but I know there's more. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I also.
What do you mean
believe that when
galvanizing
you
crew?
Start engaging with those
Galvanization is a process in which you encase metal in another metal so that you can prevent corrosion. Why would you want to galvanize your crew? If you encase them in metal, they are going to die. Why am I questioning? Don't question, Gopal.
kingpins,
Don't question, Nightwalker. Don't. Just don't.
they will look at you based on your reputation. They will look at you based on your actions, and depending on that, you might get different contracts. Is that-
Absolutely. I mean, the whole world of Skull and Bones is about infamy, and so the player really starts as an outcast, and they want to rise and become an infamous kingpin. And so those contracts and those relationships you're going to build with other kingpins are going to grow and change based on your infamy in the world. And actually,
Oh my god, what is this character model?
you're going to build with other
God
kingpins
damn.
are going to grow and change based on your
Wow.
infamy in the world. And actually,
Like, I get getting drunk, man, but it looks like the person who made this character model is drunk. That does not.
Actually,
This character model does not move like a human. There's something
one of
uncanny
the things
about
I'm
that.
really proud of is the whole world of Skull and Bones is very reactive. So the actions the
That was poorly timed. Very reactive as the lantern just snaps back on. It is very reactive. Joel, it is very reactive.
player does, the infamy they gain, the player the other characters in the world really recognize it and respond to that.
Cool. Another thing I really like about Outposts in general is that sometimes you're just walking around, not really sure, you're not necessarily looking for anything specific. In our case, we are looking for something specific. I'm just, enjoying the scenery a little bit. But then every now and then you pass by something and you hear weird sounds. And I know that there's a lot of stuff in the game out there, and I've asked around, like, what's going on.
Look at the
I
texture
know that there's a lot of
pop-ins,
stuff in the
man.
game out there, and I've asked around, like,
Oh
what's
my
going on,
god.
and
Oh
nobody
my
really knows.
god. This is.
Well, there are certainly surprises.
For the sake of the devs, I hope this is not a refined portion of the game. I hope, because if it is, I swear to God, this game is going to be atrocious. God.
Treasures, tricks, and everything to be found in these areas, in these outposts. And I will spoil nothing.
Yeah, no, and there's a lot.
You say you will spoil nothing once, while you actually essentially spoiled an entire storyline. Ubisoft, everyone.
There's a lot to discover. I played the game quite a lot myself, and there's a lot of outposts I still haven't fully explored. So all that being said, I still haven't found this treasure. So from the clue, if I remember correctly, it said that the treasure is buried in a stone circle grave kind of thing. So I'm gonna try to find this.
Sure.
Full spoiler, I actually know where it is, so I know where I'm going, but I'm just gonna pretend I don't know, right?
Right.
Of course.
But yeah, it's pretty.
You made it.
It can be
so-
hard to find if you don't know what you're looking for. Once you know what you're looking for, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and it's important to pay close attention to the clues actually for investigations. Investigations are not meant to be straightforward. They're meant to be something that we have to.
There's not going to be a big
down on.
marker telling you where to go. So
That's right.
all right, so I think I found the grave now, and I can dig up the treasure chest. So I'll
Okay,
just be
then.
waiting for you a little bit,
Yep,
and then
go for
we'll
it.
dig it out. All right, let's dig it out. I think.
Nice. Perfect.
So yeah, as you can see, I found the treasure, decked it out, and that should give
I'm
us
not
the last
responding
piece of
to anything,
information
I'm
from the
just-
investigation,
I just want us
which
to get
will allow
over.
us
How
to
much
complete
minutes
the
are left?
investigation. So I'm gonna read that last bit of info so that we get the kind of a closure to the story. As we learned from that last bit of info, the crown was taken away by the servants of Winnie, and I don't think there's ever going to be a chance for us to find it. Who knows?
No.
The good
Okay.
news is we did get a little reward for us for completing the investigation. But before I equip it on my ship, can you tell us a bit more about other investigations in the game?
Yeah, well, and like we mentioned, we do also, one of the things we did get is a piece of a larger story about Eureka Freeman. So all the other investigations are going to obviously give some promise of treasure and reward, but also will fill in some more of the gaps about Eureka Freeman and his story. And because we know Freeman did the heist of the century, and no one knows for sure whatever happened to the treasure that was taken in that heist, there's some hope that by completing all the investigations, that we may be the ones who ultimately find it.
Okay,
Cool.
then.
Yeah.
Exciting. So that reward that I just equipped on my ship is a vanity item, is a new figurehead, so I can show it.
Oh my god! All of that, this whole spiel for a fucking figurehead. I didn't even play this and I'm mad. God damn.
But maybe you can tell us a bit more, like, what is the connection between vanity in our game and
You know, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that this is not one of the better parts of the game, because if this was like a throwaway thing that just happened in the world, I would be fine about it. It's just that, why the hell did you choose to do this on a gameplay showcase? There are only two interpretations of this. One, either you guys are idiots and you chose one of the worst parts of the game to showcase an investigation where you get a fucking figurehead, or you guys are idiots and you thought that this is good gameplay. There's no escaping this. Oh my god. And I don't blame the devs. It's like they're not the ones making the decisions. You know, after all the allegations about Ubisoft, all the shit that happened, it's just some changes happened, but some people just, yeah, I'm just gonna take it from here and put it over here. And at this point, I don't know why I keep supporting this company, but I think I do know it's because they have great ideas, and there's the hope that these great ideas will go on to be something. Like, I'm hoping with all my heart that Mirage is the true return to form that I'm looking for. That it's, you know, that the things that they're saying about it being similar to Unity aren't just um meaningless corporate fluff. And like, when they say it's similar to Unity, they don't mean that it's going to be buggy at launch. Although maybe that's more of a trend. That's more of a trend now than anything. It's more of a norm. God damn it.
the local factions? Can we get items from the local factions to customize our ships and our captain?
Absolutely, we can, and we can get all kinds of different ones to spice it up in different ways. By the looks of it, the one you have there, it seems to be the Eureka Freeman emblem. I think that symbol of the hammer, it comes from his backstory. And
tell me one thing.
Yeah, that looks very cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. What I want to say is, tell me one thing. You both went on the plunder, right? You both did the entire investigation thing. But only one of you got it. What about the other one? Only one of you got it. Or did both of you get it? Did both of them get the figurehead? I'm slowly losing my sanity. I don't know. I'm going to something is going to kill me.
All right. And that was it for us today. Thank you very much, Joel, for coming on the show and talking to us about the game and the narrative.
My pleasure. Thanks, Alexi.
All right. We'll see you all very soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot to all of you for tuning in today and watching our show.
He's so happy it's over. Look at the smile on his face. Look at the twinkle in his eyes. This man is finally free. He can go out into the world, and there are lush green trees and trees chirping everywhere and birds chirping everywhere. Oh my god. This man has gone through such a torture. Now he's finally free. Yay.
I hope this answered some of your questions, but also encourages you to ask some more. We know there's still a lot of things you would like to know about our game. How far
There's a lot I want to know about your game. Why? Oh. Do you hate me, Ubisoft? I don't know. I think you hate everyone equally. You're an equal opportunity offender.
can you go with customization? How deep are our combat mechanics? What are our monetization plans? Or even how much
Oh, I know exactly how deep your combat mechanics go, Ubisoft. Your combat mechanics are press X to press X to hit player. That's it. That's your combat mechanics. What are our monetization schemes? Yeah, you'll probably sell like a DLC about some cutlasses or something, and there'll probably be a million microtransactions which make you look like Iron Man or something. Yeah. Look, the thing is, the looking like Iron Man thing in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, looking like Thanos thing in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, is not a problem. The problem is because see, these are clearly things meant to be taken not so seriously, meant to be taken in stride. They're fun little jokes. They put to aside. If you have the money, you can buy it. It's like yeah, it changes your gameplay, but at the same time, it's like you don't really need it. But like all of that is being put out while the actual game is the state of the game is dog shit. Bugs, the glitches which still exist. Oh my god. Let's put this man to rest. Let's put him out of his misery.
content
Let's
will be
finish
added
this video.
after release.
Hmm?
These are all topics we intend to address through future episodes of the deck, our dev blog, and our social media. So keep an eye out, and I'll see you again very soon.
Hopefully not. Hopefully we see you never again. Bye bye, Ubisoft. Goddamn, a torture.